Greetings, my loved ones. I am Lord Agam Ellis, the Mahunter, the divine and human, inner and outer, living spiritual egg master. And my goddesses, Equinox, are my balance, and I am their balance in the center. They are by my side. So I got that equal man and woman, king and queen thing going on. So I do this in the name of Sukmad Hu, or some say God. But my realization has also encompassed the goddess, my father, the unconditional lover, now has his power by his side in my house. Yeah, this is how we do it. And it's a great thing. Now, I did the black, the red, and now it's time for the blue. And we represent what we talk about. We walk it like we talk it. Many say they rep it 100, but they don't, because they've been programmed with fear and pain, and their minds always adheres to its programming. Now, I know that I used to hear the youngsters say they was crip crazy, but that's what they said. But anyhow, the fact of the matter is, they was just trying to find their way back home. And everybody has to do that by their own path. Now, the teachings of Eckankar embraces one right where they're at, no matter what you are doing, no matter what your path is. That great spirit that they call the Ek, that they call the Holy Spirit, this spirit is so dynamic that it will be for you whatever you say it is. It will work as well for the righteous as it will for the wicked. It is totally impersonal. This is the voice of God. And this is the tool that God or Sukmad gave each and every soul to always be connected with itself. Now, they told you that you had two choices. You could choose Jesus, or you could go to hell with the devil. That was your choices. But I'm here to tell you, those are not the only two choices. There's another choice in the middle path, and that be the teachings of Eckankar. And these teachings embraces one right where they are, no matter what they're doing. There's no guilt, no shame, no sin, no none of that programming that they use to control the mind of a person. That is man's programming. That's not the true reality. The true reality is that the path is within every individual, and that path lies in the soul, not nothing else. And it does not matter what, as I say, whatever you have done has nothing to do with how spiritual you may be. Now, these youngsters are, they were and still are great people, individuals, I should say, but they felt that they wasn't adhering to this Christian God's or Jesus's way, so they couldn't say that they were actually taking that path. So if they taking the other path, then that's all about destruction. But this middle path is all about construction. It's about beauty. It's about life. It's about embracing the whole. And this is what the teachings of Eckankar are all about. The whole. That's why we didn't come for any particular group or color. We come for the soul, to awaken it to its true heritage, to the divine reality that awaits it, because the boss of all bosses has issued a mandate that soul must evolve. So it's time to come back home. Now, whatever your path may be, or whatever you're doing in your life, the teachings of Eckankar embraces that. You wouldn't believe what I do unless you knew me personally. And then you would know what I do, some of the things anyway. And I am a developed spiritual being. My consciousness embraces everyone. I make no judgment about what anyone does. I love the righteous and I love the wicked. I love it all because I am an unconditional lover. If you understand what the word unconditional means, it means that there are no conditions. So how can you say to someone that God is an unconditional lover, and then on the other hand, tell them that he's this hideous monster and a psychotic, bipolar thing that will send you to hell if you don't choose Jesus or whoever, whatever. I mean, that if the mind had any sense, it would say that's foolishness. That don't make no sense whatsoever. And I cannot believe I wouldn't even send everybody, no matter what a person was doing. They would say, I wouldn't send everybody to hell that didn't choose a particular thing. So that would make you a better person than God, than their God or Jesus, or whatever it is that they're talking about. But the mind cannot, it can know this here, but it cannot accept it because it's been programmed with fear and pain. Try thinking of your religion or your Jesus or your whoever. Try thinking of not going with that and going with the truth. You'll get scared in a hot flash. That is something that has to be deprogrammed, and it takes spiritual power to do that, to break that cement up that's in the heads and the minds of the inhabitants of this world. So that is what I know. And I thought I would tell this, make this illustration about something that happened in my life that I feel doing it in this manner would be the clearest message that I could give you that you could understand in regards to what I'm saying to you. Most people think that the mind power is the highest power in the world, and those with adept minds will attest to it based upon what they can do with it. However, it's not the highest power. Spiritual power is the highest and the dominator. The spiritual power penetrates, dominates, regulates, and educates the soul. It penetrates the human consciousness. Whether it has anything to say about it or not is irrelevant. But it penetrates it, dominates it, regulates it, and then it educates the soul to its divine self, to its divine heritage, wakes it up from its slumber, and lets it know it is a divine being. And the Almighty Father wants them to come back home. That time has come. and the mandate has been issued. The soul must evolve. So it doesn't matter. He said, it does not matter. Let them kick and scream. It doesn't matter. The shell is not what I am interested in. It's the soul. So pay no attention to the screaming and hollering about the human self and their rights and wrongs. Bring them. And me being that Mahanta consciousness, that shining consciousness that embraces the principles of my Father, an unconditional lover, I can allow anybody in whatever they're doing to do what they do and love them unconditionally, because I love the soul unconditionally. It's just here gaining the lessons that it needs to develop. And every soul needs different things that they must learn, that they must develop. Everybody don't have the same issues. Everyone's issues are individual. And the teachings of Eckankar are an individual teaching, not a church with a herd mind. Churches are based upon control. They equally yoke the whole group and deny the individual any expansion in consciousness, any development. It's stopped. It's a dead religion. It has no power. All the church can tell you to do is love. Oh, it will load you down with sweet love. It's all about sweet, sweet love that has no power. That unconditional love for the soul that has done atrocities and what have you. To be able to love that soul unconditionally, that is power. To not have judgments about rights and wrongs of the time, that is power. It takes power to move these things, and it takes power to get back home, because to cross the void, one's certainly gonna need the power. And the power will take away all of your fears. That's whose most people's God is. Fear is the name of their God, because they will obey the fear. But power will shine a light on that fear and blaze it up and show you that there ain't nothing there. It's only an illusion. I'm going to tell you this story, but I see I'm going to need 2 parts, because 15 minutes is the length of time that I will have to keep these videos in. But I shall illustrate to you something that happened in my own life in this piece of heaven right here that I sit in, that will illustrate what I am talking about with complete clarity. And I can illustrate a lot of things to you with complete clarity, but that don't mean you'll be able to accept them, because due to your programming, it can make perfect sense to you, but you cannot accept it due to your programming. It's obvious that it takes 2 opposites for anything to work in this world, a masculine and a feminine, or a man and a woman. It takes opposites of that nature in order to make anything here work. But when it come to God, they threw the opposites out the window. They didn't give God the truth, his true opposite, which is the goddess. They gave him a devil to control the masses with fear. That fear of going to hell, as if they got the key that can give you heaven or hell. They can't give themselves that. How can they possibly give it to you? And it's impossible to give someone something that you don't have. Those that seek power has no power, or they wouldn't be seeking it. All they want is control. So anyway, I'm going to stop right here and do the other part 2 of this, and salute to the troops. And we're going to crip walk and be not crip crazy, but crip with some sense. You know, it's time to work smarter, not harder. Okay? That be right back at you.